I was just recently watching some cartoons, and I was thinking back on the days when I used to. I mean, I still kind of do watch more cartoons than live action shows. So I was thinking back to the days when I would watch cartoons like almost endlessly as an adult. Because I really, really enjoy watching cartoons, especially ones nostalgia cartoons, ones back in from my childhood. I like new cartoons too. Uh, all types of whatever. SpongeBob. I like the new ones. Teen Titans Go. I know that's not new, but whatever. Like adult cartoons too. Rick and Morty. It's a fan favorite. Venture Brothers came out way back. Back when I probably couldn't really understand what was going on completely. I mean, I understood, but it's like a lot of adult innuendos that you don't get as a kid or even a teenager or whatever. You still won't understand it completely. And then you go back and watch it as an adult, and you're like, oh my God, that was it. That was what they were saying. That's what they were inferring or implying. And it's like, that's really, really cool. So, um, I was just thinking about it and I was like, man, I feel like I'm a kid. Like I feel like immature. I feel immature. I feel like I'm just watching this and I'm like the only one that watches cartoons and I'm just childish and I'll never grow up or whatever. And it's like I'm trying to rekindle my childhood, and try to, be a kid forever or whatever, and it makes me immature. But I I realized that um I realized that I felt that way until I understood, you know, and this is probably good on like social media and stuff like that. There are millions of adults that watch cartoons, obviously because they're on, right? And then you go and look, and you think that like a lot of the little kid or not little, a lot of the little kids are watching the cartoons now, and they're making up the majority of the views. But that's not actually the case. Actually, the case is the adults, first of all, pick the cartoon because they have to be the ones that put it on for their kid. And I mean, you might be a parent who just says, hey, whatever, throw whatever on for Timmy, and Timmy watches it, and you don't care what's on Cartoon Network, or you don't care what's on Nickelodeon, or you don't care what's on Disney. But a lot of times you're choosing that for them. You're choosing which channel to watch and what cartoons they can or can't watch or whatever. Or you might have some that you don't like, you might have some that you do like, or you might have some that are tolerable to you in the background. You have some that are intolerable, and so you're essentially you're deciding which cartoons do you like. That's what you're doing. You're saying which one do I like? My child's gonna like too. So really, that's one case of it, and then another case of it is also that you might actually watch the cartoon yourself. You probably watch the cartoon yourself. You probably enjoy that cartoon, and you probably look forward to the new episodes of it. So, and you probably and you rewatch episodes too, and you enjoy that too. So, um, not only that, you pick cartoons for yourself to watch as well, even when they're asleep or whatever, or even if you're single, or even if you're not single and don't have kids, whatever the case may be, I guarantee a huge percentage of the population is watching cartoons. It's not just kids. It's not just kids. It's a huge percentage, and I've seen a lots of nostalgia memes or people talking on social media where they're just like, hey, remember this scene or remember this episode or whatever, or I can't believe that they allowed this in this Cartoon Network show or whatever, that type of stuff. You realize it's like, oh, you had to have rewatched it to understand that that was a thing that we shouldn't have been really exposed to as a kid. I don't want to say really not exposed to, but it just feels like you shouldn't be exposed to it. You didn't understand as a kid. It obviously didn't affect your life in a negative way or whatever. Obviously, you didn't understand it, so how can it affect you in a way that would be an adversity to your growth and development if you're sitting over here and saying, I didn't even realize that as a kid. How can you be affected by something you don't understand? So yeah, it's like you're watching something, you're saying it's nostalgic, you're noticing things about it as an adult, and it's like, and it makes me feel better because I'm like, oh, all those hours and hours and hours of me not saying I don't really want to watch a real person show because I don't really want to get into the storyline. I don't want to have to a situation where, oh, I miss episode and I don't know what the hell's going on and blah 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 blah. And you're just like, hey, what do I what do I what do I do about um finding the episode that I missed because I fell asleep? You watch a cartoon, who cares? Okay, you missed 3 episodes. You missed 5 episodes. You missed 10 episodes. You were asleep. You went to sleep. You slept for 8 hours. Episodes or depending on the show, they could be 30 minutes. It could be 15 minutes. Whatever it is. So if you say, let's say, Cartoon Network block is like 30 minutes. So but no commercials on most streaming apps. So 23 minutes. Uh, it's somewhere around the range of 16 episodes that will slide by while you're asleep for like 7.5 hours, maybe 8, and oh well, who cares? I'll turn it back. I'll just press continue watching. I'm not gonna go back and be like, dang, I fell asleep on my favorite show. Or maybe cartoon's your favorite show, and you still do that. But also, almost who cares? It half the time it's probably a cartoon you've watched 50 times. So, yeah, no, that's pretty cool to me to even think that way.